We welcome you to this broadcast of women's basketball on NKTelco Sports. We're at the Ohio Northern University Sports Center where Heidelberg will take on Ohio Northern. Tonight's game brought to you by the following sponsors: John and Tony's Restaurant, Four Seasons Drive-Thru, Jalapenos, Mexican Grill, Whatever Cards and Games, and NKTelco. I'm Dave Helmstetter. With me tonight, Michael Hearn, and we've got Ohio Northern University basketball. Polar Bears are facing Heidelberg in a matchup of the teams. Ohio Northern first, Heidelberg in last place. Northern one game up on Baldwin-Wallace, and the Polar Bears making some noise in the polls and also in the Ohio Athletic Conference, Michael.
I just love that right now they're making some noise on the floor. Peyton Warnicki giving the pregame pep talk, and it looks like a group that is dialed in, and you called it the 7-11 game with what these two teams have done. It's apropos because Ohio Northern right now is on a massive white hot streak. Somebody doesn't like hot around Polar Bears, something about the ice and the water, but it's ice in their veins right now because they're coming off massive wins, including a Muskingum win here on Saturday, 65-47. They absolutely shot the lights out, 21-10. They outscored the Muskies to sort of finish that one off. And it's not really a surprise that for the second time, Brent Serban's been named Player of the Week in the conference.
Yeah, and you look at the Polar Bears, 11 straight wins, longest since 17 straight back in the 2017-18 season. Now you flip it over to the Heidelberg Student Prince, and Heidelberg struggling, 7 losses in a row in a program that's just slowly getting built.
Yeah, losing to Marietta on Saturday, 60-39. Hallie Rogers had 18 points. Nobody else had more than 4. They were outscored 20-8 in the fourth quarter. A little bit of local flavor, though. Lima Senior Cheyenne Bean as a part of this ball game. And fist bumps from the officials. That's always nice.
It is. Tradition, isn't it? Should mention that we've got a wonderful group of students here. It looks like a whiteout night, Michael.
I think they said there's 300 people that can fit over there. It's about 1,300 if memory serves behind me. There might be close to all of those kids over there.
Yeah, it's a full group over in the student section here tonight as you take a look at here on NKTelco Sports. Thanks for joining us. Just seconds away from the start of tonight's festivities, the national anthem and our starting lineups. And our national anthem is up next. You're watching college basketball on NKTelco Sports.
Whatever Cards and Games in Ada is your locally owned, family-friendly business for all your gaming needs. We carry a wide range of collectible card games, board games, family games, role-playing games, educational games for all ages, and more. Stop in today for your much-needed expansion packs and war miniatures. We are an official tournament store for Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering, and Cardfight Vanguard. Expect an enjoyable time at Whatever Cards and Games, where there's fun for everyone.
Four Seasons Drive-Thru, we have the coolest beverages in town and specials to satisfy all appetites.
Check out our Facebook page for all the details and times of Brownie's Pies. Get this great pizza by the slice or take home a whole pie. And don't forget his spectacular subs.
At Four Seasons Drive-Thru, we have all the supplies you need for game day celebrations.
Four Seasons Drive-Thru, 205 North Main Street in Ada. Great drinks, great food, wonderful service, and amazing prices.
Go Bears!
Back here at Ohio Northern University Sports Center, the crowd filing in. We'll introduce the Heidelberg Student Princes lineup. Heidelberg under head coach Rachel Ferry. They stand 2-13, 0-8 in conference play. Face the unenviable task of facing an unbeaten OAC Ohio Northern squad. Student Princes come in averaging 52.4 points per game on defense, allowing 64.5.
Also 0-6 on the road this year. I love the story I read about their head coach, Rachel Ferry, that's 10th coach in program history in her now third season, 6-47. But she's from Cranston, Rhode Island.
Isn't that
a
unusual?
ball player by herself. If you don't know, I didn't know this till I found it, and I thought it was really funny. Cranston, Rhode Island is actually the model of Quahog, which is the city and Family Guy. It's been admitted repeatedly that that's where he got the idea. That's the town that he modeled it after.
And she's from there. That's Rachel Ferry.
I would tell everybody that. That would be the first thing I would lead with.
Starters are out there for Heidelberg. We've got Ashley Ballard, Elijah Carter, Cheyenne Bean out of Lima Senior, Haley Rogers, and Taylor Ratliff.
Look at Rogers, the number 8 scorer in the league at 11.8 points per game, can get up and down. And she's going to be the one that you're going to talk a lot about with Northern, about trying to slow her down.
And now for the Ohio Northern University Polar Bears under head coach Mark Hillsman. Polar Bears come into tonight 14-1 and 8-0. And Polar Bears are still, Ohio Northern is still on break, and some of the athletes are coming back. That's why we have such a great turnout of students here. It's basically everybody that's back on campus is here tonight. So what a wonderful show of school spirit as Bryn Serban, number 3, a senior guard, and from Ottoville, number 10, a senior, Casey Knipin, and number 13, a sophomore, 5'7", Abby Akamine, and number 32, a junior, Kristen Luersman, a 5'10", junior out of Fort Jennings, and number 44, a sophomore, Brooke Allen, a 6'1", player out of Woodmore High School. That's Serban, Knipin, Akamine, Luersman, and Allen, the starters for Ohio Northern. Let's take a look.
I was just going to say number 2 and number 9 in scoring in the league on this Ohio Northern team.
Great balance by the Polar Bears. And now to our keys to the game, brought to you by Keyhole Pizza, first for Heidelberg.
And you look at Heidelberg, the one thing they want to do is avoid Ohio Northern's pack line defense, as you get a complete local flavor with the opening tip, Luersman and Cheyenne Bean. Avoid contested drives to the rim and disrupt the big 3 scores for Northern.
And for the home team, Ohio Northern, which wins the tip.
They've really got to use Akamine out front to handle that pressure. Be alert that Heidelberg will use a lot of different defenses. That ball knocked out of bounds. And on defense, be able to handle the ball screens and challenge their handoffs.
And our keys to the game tonight brought to you by Keyhole Pizza. Ohio Northern with the basketball. We're underway from the Ohio Northern University Sports Center. Luersman, short jumper, gets the roll.
I think we may have to change the microphones because it is a lot louder with the kids back on campus.
Heidelberg with the basketball. Back over to the left side, it goes in Ratliff. Ratliff is going to handle it. 3-point shot by Ballard. It rims in and out. Rebound by Bean. She'll toss it back out to Ratliff. And Allen will, or rather Luersman grabs the rebounds. Serban looks back out front. Luersman quickly to the corner. Akamine. Luersman on the floor. Back out to Serban. Ohio Northern up 2-0 on our John and Tony's Restaurant scoreboard.
Now getting distracted watching the kids on the other side root on their teammates.
Allen gets the rebound. Akamine for 3. Boy, you know, the place would have really lit up if she'd have hit that one.
They were on their toes for the ball being in the air. And we found out her nickname is Maui. That's Coach
correct.
told you in the postgame after she sent everybody home.
And I've learned other things. I learned that she has a twin. I found that fascinating as well. And she also came to Ohio Northern for the School of Pharmacy. So
she'll be here forever.
Yeah.
Dials in, Knipin out after she commits the foul. That puts Rogers at the line.
Stepping to the line, Rogers, a sophomore out of Hagerstown, Indiana. She'll connect on her first free throw. 8:34 to go, opening quarter. Heidelberg on the board. And we're tied at 2.
How about that? 12 varsity letters and 5 conference titles for that young lady in high school. That's getting it done.
That is Serban Akamine. Back over, goes to the right side and dials. They work the perimeter inside to Luersman. Back out front, dials. Left side Serban for 3. A little bit too strong.
Student section's looking for a reason to erupt.
Oh.
This isn't it.
Rogers for 3. And defense leaves are open. Haley Rogers knocks it home. 24% shooter from behind the arc.
Northern did a good job on the offensive side of monitoring their switches, but just didn't get back, and you cannot leave Rogers with an inch to shoot.
Serban back over to Dials. Akamine in the wing, inside Luersman, back out Serban. The tie, and there it is.
Can you imagine the last time I was here with you that if Akamine had hit that shot that she hit to win the game in front of this crowd,
they would have rushed
how
the
loud that
court.
building would have been?
They would have probably rushed the court.
Probably would have knocked off number 7 Baltimore Malls.
Yeah, that was one of the great moments of this season so far. Inside they go, and Bean has it, and it's going to be a whistle, and Heidelberg will inbound it.
So on that tie-up, though, you wouldn't have thought that it was going to stay with Heidelberg based on how she responded to it. It's kind of a cool little homecoming for a couple of these girls. For Heidelberg, obviously a little bit further away than what some of their home games are.
Ratliff behind the arc.
Good screen.
As the play clock sounds, up to Luersman. Let's see what the Polar Bears do.
Throw to you.
2
Are you
men down.
open?
I was open, I guess. Mike Miller and I were talking about shooting in the backyard before the game.
That's probably why they threw you the ball then.
I guess.
I said go ahead and hit one from there, announcer guy.
That would have been a long one, especially seated. Ratliff looks inside. Ballard all the way to the corner. Shot from the corner, no good. Rebound, Ratliff. Back out front it goes to Rogers. Rogers into the lane. Loose ball.
She nearly stole it, laying on the floor. Now it's a 5-on-4 for Northern.
Dials. Back out. Allen got clobbered. Unintentionally, but got clobbered.
But I love the smile on her face. That's fine. That's your foul. You deal with that. And apparently you cannot do that. That's what the student section's telling everybody.
You can't do that.
Peyton Warnicki from OG in. Now to the ball game. Serban had a good look as she pulls up. Does so many things well for ONU, but this time with the loss and the foul. And just look at what she's done. Almost 3 steals, 5 assists, 6 rebounds, 14 points a game, and she's rapidly ascending the leaderboards in steals and career assists.
Serban inside. Luersman step back up off the glass and in.
Add one more.
Another assist for Serban, and it's a 7-5 Northern lead.
I believe she's number 2 now.
Ratliff. Back over to Rogers. Rogers looks inside. Back over to Taylor Ratliff. Now Elijah Carter with it. Carter out of Calvary Christian in Bellefontaine shoots the 3. No good.
Just from outside of Calvary Christian.
Here comes Serban. Cross midcourt to the corner. Benjamin, or Akamine, excuse me. Warnicki inside. There's Luersman. Timeout. 5:22 to go, first quarter. Ohio Northern 9, Heidelberg 5. You're watching college basketball on NKTelco Sports.
Nareda Lanes in Ada offers men's league bowls on Mondays and Wednesday evenings, women's league bowls on Thursday evenings, couples bowls on Friday evenings, kids bowl on Saturday mornings from December through March, Scotch mixed double bowls on the last Saturday of every month, Open bowling on Saturday evening. Saturday afternoon, reserve the bowling alley for children's birthday parties. And on Sunday, lanes are available to reserve for birthdays of any age as well as for group events. Check out NarragaLanes.com for more info.
There you see the Ohio Northern University bench. Mark Hilsman talking to his team. Polar Bears 4 out of 9 from the field to start. 1 out of 3 from behind the arc. Got a 4-point lead with 5:22 to go here in the first quarter. There you see the student princes as they break the huddle.
You know, they say Mark Hulsman is the worst dancer on this team.
Have you reported this? Have you investigated reporting?
I'm not going to ask him. He'll just say yes. It was on their Twitter, which is an amazing follow. It's a great source of information on the Polar Bears.
With the basketball is Carter back over to the right side, and Rogers into the lane. He's going to lose the basketball. Serban's going to have a hand on it.
Should be on Heidelberg's. I thought it was ONU's. Heidelberg averages 18.7 turnovers per game, and like he said earlier on, Northern on the back of 11 straight wins, Heidelberg on the back of 7 straight losses.
Warnicki gets it inside. There it is. Brooke Allen with the bucket. Polar Bears go up 6.
And that's the exact same way that they have built this lead. Remember, it was 5-5, and Northern even trailed 5-2. But they've used that exact same play to dump to both of their bigs.
Bean will have it out front. Looking inside. Gets it to Carter out front. Carter wants to go inside on Soprano. Mackenzie Soprano into the lineup for Ohio Northern.
Play clock at 3.
Going to have to shoot it. Ratliff's going to lose it. Shot clock sounds.
So Casey Knippen back in. Started her career at Urbana before they shut down and has had a heck of a 3-year run here in Ada.
Dials brings it up. Goes to the left side. Into the lane. Back out Warnicki. Goes back into Allen. Pass goes astray. Here comes Ratliff. Long lead pass. Finds those occupying seats near the exit.
They're down there. She got the smell of the popcorn and asked one of her teammates to go get the ball and maybe bring one back. Or you just wait till the half and get a hot dog.
So bringing it up. Dials. Micaiah Irving on her. There's Knippen. Too strong off the glass.
Needed to take 6 steps back.
Inside, nice feed, and there's the shot as Rogers will make it.
She did a good job to pin that against the hip and hide the travel.
Haley Rogers got all 7 of Heidelberg's points. They'll go to the wing, and Knippen inside's Allen. That's where the pass goes, working against Bean. Rogers with the steal and shoots it up court.
Great recognition to know where that was going to go as ONU is about to put a white out and a line change on the floor.
Yep, definitely a line change coming in on this dead ball.
And wholesale changes for the Polar Bears.
That's what they say, wholesales.
That was definitely a wholesale change.
Benjamin, the new member of this group, and just one other switch, really, and Grace Dean, a 5'11 junior. Other than that, we've got Luersman, Akamine, and Serban on the floor.
Coming up on 3 minutes to go, opening quarter. Foul's going to go against Morgan Alzenberger.
That's her first.
That'll be her first, team second.
She just got caught between a couple of screens, took an extra step, and it didn't work out when she tried to separate the offensive player from herself.
Serban across court.
What a start for Northern, though. 5 of 11 from the field.
Serban with it. Akamine, top of the key. Looking inside. Back out to Serban. Shot no good. Rebound.
I don't know about you, but I could see when it left her hand that was going to have a little too much on the power meter. I don't have that problem. It's a little too much trying to get it to go the other way.
Up court. Heidelberg with the basketball. That's Rogers, shot no good.
And we talked about for Northern in our keys to the game about them being able to beat the screens. They've not been able to do it on a couple of different possessions that have led to wide open shots for Hallie Rogers.
And Rogers, 2 out of 4 from the field.
She's not going to stop.
Back out, Akamine. Lursman. There's the 3, shot no good. Lursman battling for it, but it comes down to Taylor.
White jersey's going to be a lot darker after this game's over.
Inside it goes to Bean. Serban with the steal. Here comes Benjamin. Benjamin. It's going to be a turnover, Ohio Northern. It is just amazing. We were sitting here 15 minutes before this game started, and I was thinking to myself that there wasn't going to be anybody here. That's not the case.
No, there are a couple of times where I have to really concentrate on what's actually happening because I know it's got to be pro-Northern because ball thrown too high for Cheyenne Bean. All I heard was a roar.
With the basketball comes Elijah Carter. Pass goes inside to Bean. There's going to be a foul on Dean on the backside. She says, who, me?
She just turned and said, I don't actually believe that that's true. Into the game for the first time, Colleen Miller, a freshman guard from Northridge High School in Middlebury, Indiana. I've been there, actually. Been in Middlebury.
Out front is Carter. Carter pulls her back out. Miller with it. Back over to the right side and Irving. Irving, she'll take the 15-footer, shot no good. Not a bad look. That's going to go out of bounds as Rogers tries to chase, or rather Miller tries to chase it down.
Micaiah Irving out of the greater Cleveland area played at Trinity High School. Same high school, you'll probably get this, as Samika Randall, who's the head coach now at Winthrop. Was an all SEC player at Tennessee. Was an All-American, actually. Ended up in the WNBA.
Serban into the lane. Back out. Lursman's going to try her
shot.
hand. Oh. Rebound cleared. Micaiah Irving. Carter. Back over to Irving. Shot clock at 15 seconds.
There was a miscommunication there somewhere because Irving was praying somebody would come up and get the basketball.
Outside shot Irving just off the front of the rim.
It's not her game, just 1 of 10 this year.
Lursman a little bit short.
Got to go for one of your better plays here if you're Northern, something that you're pretty confident about. I mean, you lead 11-7. Nobody scored, though, in quite some time after ONU went on that 9-0 run.
Coming into the final 30 seconds or so of this first quarter of basketball. Lursman back over to Serban. Serban will work into the lane. Bench wanted a foul there. Akamine's shot no good. Rebound. It's going to be over the back on Grace Dean, I believe.
They got their foul. It just maybe wasn't necessarily the one they thought it was going to be. It's going to be 2 on Dean.
Coach Rachel Ferry pleading her case.
Morgan Altenberger, the sophomore, back into the lineup. It's a momentum thing to end the quarter, though. If you're Heidelberg, you're probably going to go to Rogers, I would think, and you need a basket. It doesn't have to be a 3.
Inside it goes to Bean. Defense collapses. Benjamin. Clock at 1 second. Serban at the buzzer. It doesn't go.
I think she got fouled.
Do we have a foul?
I heard the whistle before I heard the horn.
We do. We have a foul. It'll be on Colleen Miller, I believe. So Serban will shoot a couple of free throws with shot clock at 0.
Say it had to be. The whistle came before the buzzer. It was about half a second. You'll hear it. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it, but right somewhere around there. You're going to put .3 back on the clock.
So the officials will put time back on the clock.
Which, again, makes sense because, like I said, I heard the whistle before I heard the horn.
And with the added crowd noise, that's kind of challenging.
Right. Serban 43 of 55 from the line. Too strong. This one you can say, can I shoot from the three-point line?
Yeah.
So give me a point and a half.
Second toss. Is that you, Michael? No. Thought we were bidding on something here for a minute.
The guy in the crowd behind us.
First quarter is over. Ohio Northern 12, Heidelberg 7. You're watching college basketball on NKTelco Sports. School of
Households are using more connected devices than ever before. TVs are streaming, smartphones are browsing, security cameras are watching, and virtual assistants are, well, assisting.
You'll need an umbrella today.
As you add more devices, we are constantly improving our technology to deliver the fastest and most reliable internet to your home. So make sure you have enough bandwidth. Get NKTelco high-speed internet with speeds up to 1 gig. Call 1-888-NKTelco today.
There you see Heidelberg. They're looking at a 5-point deficit. Ohio Northern up 12-7, and decent quarter of basketball. Lots of enthusiasm, that's for sure, as quarter number one is history.
Yeah, it's kind of an oddity, too, because you remember at one point it was 5-2 Heidelberg. ONU went on a big run to get out into double digits, got a set of free throws right at the end. 7:23 to lead for ONU. As you see the student section, they were taking selfies during the quarter break. Just 27 seconds, though, with the lead for Heidelberg, where they went up after 75, and then everything just kind of went awry.
Carter with the basketball, back over to Ratliff. Ratliff goes inside, pulls it back out, gets it over to Carter. Carter cut off there by Warnicki. Rogers inside, beam.
Oh!
That's the
I
same.
don't know about that.
That's the same expression.
Oh, okay. They got Brooke for it. That honestly, I thought at first he signaled that it was going to be on Peyton Warnicki, but Peyton Warnicki's hand was draped across the ball.
Bean with the free throw. She'll miss the first one. 6 out of 12 on the season, 50%. Take a look at this one more time.
Bean at the line.
See Cheyenne flash down through. I still. I don't know. Cheyenne Bean again played just down the road at Lima Senior. Had a nice career. Lima Senior.
Serban will bring it up court. Up against Ratliff. Akamine in the wing. They'll go back over to Knippen. Knippen goes inside. Warnicki puts it on the floor. Nice strong move. Shot doesn't go. Bean grabs the rebound. Here comes Rogers. Looks to her right. In the corner is Carter. That's where it'll end up.
I'd imagine Warnicki's eyes had to be huge when she turned and saw the lack of a defender between. And you can pretty much flip. Heidelberg's away jerseys almost look exactly like ONU's.
Ballard almost loses the basketball. Gets it inside. There's the block by Lewis. Knippen.
I think it looked like Casey on that one.
Good defensive play as Serban will handle it. Back behind the arc. Warnicki goes inside. Lorsman. She's going to make the move and took a step right before she made her move, and that's an Ohio Northern turnover.
Gives them 6. And you could just see it kind of deflated the air out of what was going to be a nice move. Well, I guess it was a little more Luresman than it was Knippen. I saw the two of them sort of close down, assume that they just went straight Putnam County on them.
Rogers goes out of bounds.
At what point on the circle route that she ran around the defense there, do you think she actually lost control of the basketball?
It didn't take long, that's for sure, as Serban will bring it up court. Heidelberg turnover. Let's see if Ohio Northern can capitalize.
And you can see, too, if you've seen Northern play enough, that they're doing a handful of things that they maybe haven't normally done, concentrating more on serve and driving. So that kind of hit awkwardly.
Liz Luersman got a smile on her face as she puts the loose basketball up and in.
I think she was just trying to add to her rebounding total. She's got nearly a walking double-double this year.
Bean has it out front.
Nobody's moving.
All four are standing in the corners, and that's going to be a turnover.
That'll be 8.
That's a great point, Michael. They simply stood still in four corners. Oh, Serban inside. Timeout, Heidelberg. 30-second timeout, so we will keep it right here.
I just wish at all time you could just see the student section's reaction to everything, because they're sitting directly across from us and they just lose their mind on nearly every single. I mean, that drive was really nice, but all I see was everybody just jumping up and down. It's a Wednesday night in Ada. You have the 14th ranked team in the country. If you can't have fun, what's the point?
That's right, and there's no class tomorrow. Your class, I don't believe, is in session yet. They're back because they're athletes.
Now they're in rhythm while they're playing music during the break.
So, but anyway, they probably have every student that is back on campus as they begin to set up the next semester. I'd like to remind you that NKTelco Sports is pleased to bring you replays of tonight's women's basketball game on NKTelco Channel 3 or in HD on Channel 503. Thursday, February the 2nd at 5 p.m. Friday, February the 3rd at 9 p.m. You can also watch more games on demand through YouTube, Facebook, and at NKTelco.com/sports. 16-8 our score. 8-point lead for Ohio Northern. And place is rocking.
Yeah, I think they just said, hey, you guys want to go to the party? Where's the party at? It's at the Kinghorn Center.
You're dating yourself when you say Kinghorn Center.
Well, it's on the signage outside.
Is it still out there?
Yeah, it's still out there.
That's when we were talking about that
Sports
coming
Center,
up.
the Kinghorn Center, Campoli Court. This place has more names than Batman villains.
Ratliff inside gets it back out to Carter as they try to move the basketball a little bit more. Ratliff almost loses it. Gonna have to fire it up, and it's gonna be short.
That's the second time that ONU has forced a kind of crazy shot near a shot clock violation. And I could tell by the reaction to Taylor Ratliff that it was not going to go well for head coach Ferry. Body language and standing just in front of us says a lot.
It does. Warnicki with the basketball, the Luersman. Here comes Serban. Serban trying to move inside, trying to get it back out to Knippen. Knippen goes to the left side, down the lane, turnaround, shot short, rebound Beam.
Might have been partially blocked, too. It's kind of a hard one to try to ascertain. You look at what Heidelberg's doing. Northern's forcing them out of their comfort zone, which is move the ball and shoot from outside. They're not giving them good looks.
Rogers off the glass, shot no good, and Serban will grab the rebound.
It's a 4-point run for ONU.
16-8, second quarter action. Inside Luersman working on Bean. Sopranos, shot no good, gets her own rebound, puts it up, still doesn't go.
That's a heck of a try, though. Just kind of an open-handed toss off the glass.
Up and in.
Alicia Carter.
Carter with the basket. She's averaging 9.1 points per game coming into tonight as Grace, she'll go to the free throw line.
Watch this replay. She likes playing here. She had 12 points here last year. And again, not that far from here as Casey Knippen ends up in your living room or wherever you're watching. We thank you for that. But you look at what she's done. Valedictorian out of Calvary Christian High School. Rattles it up, and now is a 3-time conference player of the year. That takes some doing.
has her first 2 points of the night. Ohio Northern has the basketball. Soprano back over to Luersman, over to the Serban. Serban going inside to Allen. Foul will most likely be on Bean.
Heidelberg foul is on number 13, Cheyenne Bean.
Oh, it's her first.
That'll be her first.
Team first of the quarter.
And the first of the quarter for Heidelberg. 5:26 to go here. Second quarter action.
And you know, that's a big thing too for asking Cheyenne Bean to do. I mean, as a freshman, of defending these long-arm, skilled, long-tenured polar bear post players.
Luersman's three-point attempt no good. It's going to be a jump ball. Possession arrow, Ohio Northern.
I really thought for a second Serban was going to try to throw it off the back of a defender because they were turned away from her and then realized and kind of showed her a little bit of a hip.
Inside looking for Allen for the easy one, but Rogers is going to chase it down, but it's going to be out of bounds.
Again, it's just an infectious thing. The student section is making this that kind of game in this kind of atmosphere. Every time something happens, they jump up and try to help the officials which way they think it should go, which just happens to be polar bears.
Three-pointer by Serban, no good. A rebound, Irving. Up court, Carter. Carter back over to Rogers for three. Shot no good. Luersman all alone with the rebound.
That's unfortunate, too, for Heidelberg because that was a great screen by Ashley Ballard.
Layla Dials will return to the lineup for Ohio Northern as Knippen will catch a breather with 4:51 to go.
Mike Miller telling you that Colleen Miller back into the game.
Inbound Serban. Into the lane. Up and off the glass.
She has
Serban.
One of those about every game, but nobody got back for Northern. Somehow, Allen was able to touch that ball as Micaiah Irving went by.
Here comes Serban, averaging 14.3 points per game. Dumps it off. Luersman had to put it on the floor, but she puts it off the glass, and it's nice soft touch, and Northern's leads at 9.
And that's what that drive on the previous play, that's what that does for you. Now you sort of have to overplay her going down the lane, and it leaves Luersman open. Great ball movement.
Carter, shot no good. Dials will have it, but so will Heidelberg, and it's going to be a jump ball, and Morgan Altenberger from Marietta will return to the lineup.
She had the first team all-conference pick. The thing I like most about her, she spends a lot of her time volunteering as a youth basketball coach. She'll be a busy young lady there at Heidelberg.
Irving will handle it over to the left side. Back out front to Miller as direction coming from Rachel Ferry. Long range three, got it. Colleen Miller.
With a hand from Dials in her face.
Big three pulls Heidelberg to within 6. Serban.
She got a post-Christmas gift.
Dials into the lane on Irvin. Off the glass, it doesn't fall. She'll go to the line.
It's a beautiful ball fake, though, because she sort of, when she pulled it back, those kids aren't impressed. She pulled it back, sort of looked up. You'll see right as she comes across, right about here, she'd kind of look back at a defender, but you can't play defense as a jacket for the opposing team.
Dials now 15 out of 17 from the line. One of her rare misses this season.
If memory serves, she had made about 10 in a row before that miss.
Second free throw is good. Soprano on Carter, now back over to Irving. Out front to Altenberg. Bean will have it.
Ooh.
Almost.
Did a good job of keeping that right foot down.
Irving going to the right side, trying to get in the lane. Let's see. Takes an extra step.
You know, and it just dawned on me, too, that Cheyenne Bean's head basketball coach at Lima Senior was Vince Halliday. He's actually the boys' head coach at Ada High School now. So they're sort of staying at least close.
Turnaround move by Luersman. Bean is going to be there. Altenberg with the rebound.
I think they kind of figured that one out, that Heidelberg was able to drop 2 players down there.
Long range three by Carter, no good, but somehow Heidelberg comes up with a rebound.
Altenberger again.
Too strong. Rebound, Bean. Bean to the baseline, puts it up, no good.
She got the basketball and Bryn Serban's head all in one swipe.
Dials will motor through the traffic and bring it up court.
She might just shoot it.
Dials is there into the lane. Boy, what quickness. Saw that in the last game as Dials into double figures in the last start. Boy, that quickness, that beautiful move by Layla Dials.
And the stop and go off the screen from the elbow, and it's I'm going to beat you there. And you almost kind of have to feel for Altenberger at the end. You saw her come out with her hands up of, don't let her land on me.
Dials will connect, and the lead is at 10 points.
And the white out student section rejoice. Everybody got the white shirt memo today.
They did. Rogers gets it over to Miller. Carter. Miller. Altenberg's out front. Miller in trouble. Bean 15-footer shot in and out. Rebound. Serban.
That's about the 6th or 7th time now that Northern has forced a shot with 8 seconds or less.
Serban. Bring it home, Michael.
She said, I see the point you're making, but I don't like it. Watch this. 3 seconds into the shot clock. Puts it up and throws it down. Her 28th of the year.
Let's see what Heidelberg does. They bounce back from a couple of these Ohio Northern runs. Bean with it, looking inside to Altenberg. It's tipped away, and that's going to be Luersman, I believe.
She knew.
On the foul.
She knew immediately. She just kind of turned her head. But you look at kind of how that goes, and like I said, that's about the 6th or 7th time that Northern has forced a deep shot, deep in the shot clock. Heidelberg's having to run a lot of extra screens.
Rogers, shot no good. Dials with the rebound. Under a minute to go.
Polar Bears will pull it up behind Dials with that white hot hand. She'll pull up, drops inside, and draws a foul before the shot goes up with 49-7. That is one thing that Northern does to an extremely high level, is they're able to drive and kick. As the foul is on Colleen Miller. Hit that big 3 in the second quarter, but that'll be number 2 on her. Northern leading 27-14. They put up a 15-7 quarter. It's up to Soprano as she takes a look, waits for Serban off the screen from Allen. Dribble drive to the left, ball down to the floor. Allen saves it. Luersman ends up with it. Shot clock at 9. Dials now on the run. Down to 5, down to 4, back out to Soprano. And the long throw down to Brooke Allen. Not going to be enough, and ONU is going to get caught on a shot clock violation for their 7th turnover. So at 28.3, the shot clock will be off. Or actually with the foul, there's a giant box in my way. It's a good job to not get there, and it was kind of a chicken and egg which way they were going to go. So free throw up and good because the shot clock was expiring as Luersman got fouled. She hits the first of 2. Now 29 of 44, puts both down. 29 points in the first half for ONU. She's got 10. Comes Alicia Carter, 5'4" sophomore, walks it across with 21 seconds. Kenzie Soprano on the jump, trying to determine which way she's going to go. Give and go now down to 12. as Bean rolls through the low post, tries to connect on some open space, and just enough for a foul. So it'll be on Ohio Northern in the second on Mackenzie Soprano. You see the replay, watch Bean kind of bail out underneath here, and on the drive just enough. Yeah, Soprano with the foul. See, free throw up and good. Carter now 2 of 2. Second one up and good as well. Northern with 8 seconds to go. Into who else? Dials walks it across, needs to hurry up and hit the speed button. Goes to the run, and a shot too long. It's in the quarter, so a 17-point second quarter gives Ohio Northern a 29-16 lead. We'll get a chance to talk to Coach Mark Hulsman, see exactly what he thinks about this first half as he's finishing up in his impromptu coaches meeting. And big first half from Brent Servin and Kristen Luersman, 21 of the 29. Dave's got head coach Mark Hulsman now.
Here at Ohio Northern, Polar Bears have a 13-point lead over Heidelberg. First half, there was some good things, there were some bad things. What's the observations as head coach you take away from tonight's effort?
Our transition defense is still terrible. They've shot 2 layups in transition. We fouled 2 jump shooters, so they got to shoot 4 free throws there, and we're letting their best players do what they're good at. Offensively, we haven't been on the same page. We're shooting bad shots, and at some point we're going to have to learn that when you're open and you're in rhythm, those shots have to go in college.
When you go to the locker room here, what are you going to tell the troops?
I don't know yet. I'm going to talk to Cassie, and hopefully she can give me some good ideas, and we're going to go from there.
What do you look for in the second half from your team?
It's a good question. Every quarter is different with this group, so I'm going to hope for the good things, and we'll see what happens.
All right, thanks, Coach. Ohio Northern with a 29-16 lead here at halftime over Heidelberg. You're watching college basketball on NKTelco Sports.
My grandpa's been making the world's worst pizza for 30 years. That doesn't look like the world's worst pizza. Grandpa, I know why they call you Chunky Bob. It's because you use chunky ingredients on your pizza.
Of course. It's not because I'm fat.
Grandpa, this is the world's best pizza. Keyhole Pizza, come check Grandpa out.
Dine in or carry out.
At First National Bank, we are working hard to make your life a little easier. With products like Card Valet, an app allowing you to control your cards with real-time notifications, transaction restrictions, and spending limits. The ability to access your money through 55,000 all-point ATMs across the country, surcharge-free. Live customer support when you need it, and online and mobile banking, allowing you to gain access to your financial information wherever and whenever you like. First National Bank, making your life a little easier.
Ohio Northern with a 13-point lead here at halftime, and you take a look at some of the numbers here in the first half. I know Ohio Northern coach Mark Hulsman worried about transition defense, but when you look at those stats,
I believe he said they were bad.
Yes,
he said they were not good.
Stats look pretty good, though.
It's kind of fascinating because if you look at the 2 of 11, those were shots that went down. Hallie Rogers hit one early, and we haven't even seen her score since the first quarter. She had 7 in that quarter. Alicia Carter and Cheyenne Bean have pretty much been doing it from the free throw line. There you see the rebounds and the turnovers at 10-5. I mean, 4 of 23 is not going to get a lot done.
And I guess the concern would be it's only a 13-point lead. That would be
that's that guy's concern.
Yes.
I love him because there's never a point, and I've known him, I've been fortunate to know him for a handful of years, and there's never a point where he'll say something and you have to guess what he's saying.
Oh, it's clear.
Yes, it's pretty clear. When he's unhappy.
Very clear.
And if you remember, we were here not that long ago, and his team ended up winning by, I think, close to 30. And it wasn't until about a minute or so to go in that ball game where Casey Knippen hit that three from the corner, and she turned and flashed the three fingers at him, that he kind of got up from his crouch and kind of laughed. But you always know where you stand with a guy like that.
Yep, absolutely.
Usually shorter for me, but that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And, from a coaching perspective, he's looking at it hard. Hard and deep.
And I think a big thing and the big success for ONU at 14-1 this year is a lot to do with him, because he really relates to these young ladies. He's been an assistant, knows the program, has recruited almost nearly every single one of them, but they clearly buy into what he's saying.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of,
Akamine with a turnaround jumper, no good. Allen, rebound no good. It comes all the way back out to Luersman. Serban has it.
And I think the thing that impresses me most about this team, as there you see the pass from the point inside of Brooke Allen, that's just her fourth point, is they don't care about the individual success. They care about the we success.
Very good observation. And you know what is also important as they move into this next stage of the OAC is how much more they can grow, how much more they can develop, how much deeper they can get off the bench, as Ratliff shot no good and Knippen with the rebound.
And they've showed a little bit of that tonight, because they went to Grace Dean sort of early on. She picked up the 2 fouls, but played solid. And like I said earlier, there are at least 3 or 4 times there are 2 shot clock violations and a couple of others. Akamine takes the bump,
and it doesn't quite roll home.
But there are a couple of other times where it has been 8 seconds or less that Heidelberg has been forced to take a shot on the play clock. And coach is in front of me right now, and if I said she's not happy, that would be underselling it. She said, how was that a foul? The official's nicely explaining it to her, though.
Yep. And he assures her that we will be consistent. How about that?
And there you see, that right there was kind of what she was asking about. Akamine went in and on the shoulder. They're asking, how did she hit my young lady and I get the foul? It's first 2 points of the game for Akamine.
Out front is Carter. Back over to Rogers now. Bean has it, goes to the left side, and Carter back out front. Bean into the lane, but Serban helps out, creates the turnover. Here come the Polar Bears.
That'll be 11 in the ball game. I think you're going to see Serban here, steady dose of her.
Right there, behind the arc. Got it.
Did you see the look on her face? Her last basket in the second quarter on that drive that she blew past a couple of players. She had a look on her face of, I'm pretty much done with this. I'm going to take this game over.
Here we go, folks. 36-16, and just like that, Ohio Northern up by 20.
Can you win back-to-back OAC Player of the Week awards? We'll find out.
Ratliff off the glass. Nice move inside by Taylor Ratliff, 5'6" sophomore out of Buckeye Central.
That's a basketball school for you right there. All-Ohio special mention twice, was a 3-time captain, 1,000-point scorer, one of 3 on this team.
Akamine out front. Knippen. It's the extension above the backboard, so that'll be a Heidelberg basketball.
It's just not been falling for her lately. Kind of one of those weird things where you want everything to come up at one time. It will come. There'll just be a streak where she'll hit like 7 out of 10.
Out front, there's the 3 by Ballard. Shot no good, and Serban with the rebound. Moves up court. Akamine.
Serban ran through and got apparently just enough of Rogers on her way by.
That's Serban's first. She's got 14 already for Ohio Northern.
It's the one thing, too, that not a lot of teams, especially in the OAC, maybe Baldwin Wallace, we saw it last week, that they can match, is having Serban and then having Akamine with that ability to not only change direction, but stop, change direction, and then blow by you.
And Layla Dials is slowly, well, not slowly, is also becoming a number 3.
Yeah, you can't use the word slowly with that girl.
Nope, there's nothing slow about that. Somebody out of Willard with the last name of Dials has got to be good. Rebound inside.
So Rogers with the basket.
Basket by Kelly Rogers.
And Rogers will step to the line.
I would be curious to see that again, because I kind of thought she got maybe an extra long step on her way down the baseline.
She'll go into double figures with that made free throw as we take a quick look at that one again.
She picks it up here, and that's a pretty long step, but smart on her part to lean in and draw the foul.
Knippen all the way over to Akamine. Back out front, Serban. Knippen open. There it is. Casey Knippen.
When she starts feeling that, watch out.
He's out front guarding Carter. Carter looking inside for Bean. She'll go over to the right side. On the baseline, Ratliff, but Luersman's going to swipe the pass. Serban on the break. Up court. Dumps it off. Akamine with the score.
I'd be willing to bet there's a timeout coming soon.
Timeout, Heidelberg. 6:08 to go. It's a 30-second timeout. Ohio Northern 41, Heidelberg 21. We'll keep it right here. Remind you that tonight's contest brought to you by John and Tony's Restaurant, Four Seasons drive-thru, Jalapenos Mexican Grill, whatever cards and games, and NKTelco bringing you tonight's contest. And if you want to take a look,
why is the right part of the student section not? They don't like this one?
Not sure. Maybe they weren't asked to participate. They're all eating popcorn.
Could be.
And if you want to see replays of that action, you can see it on NKTelco Channel 3 or in HD on Channel 503. Thursday, February the 2nd at 5 p.m. Friday, February the 3rd at 9 p.m. You can also watch more games on demand through YouTube, Facebook, and at NKTelco.com/sports.
And if you get a chance, too, go find the on-demand for those Fort Loramie games this weekend.
Oh,
there
yeah.
were some terrific games down there at the MLK Classic.
There were some great games. Had the good fortune of calling a couple of them, and good stuff.
I did 6 of them, and I needed a nap afterwards.
You would.
I still need a nap right now.
Carter with the basketball. Back over to Ratliff.
Remember what I said the first half, though. Heidelberg is being pushed right now. We talked about in the keys to the game about the handoffs as a shot off the top of the rim. Heidelberg is being forced to continue to work longer. Look at the play clock right now. It's 6. They have to run extra screens. Northern's not giving up opportunities, and they're coming up short on their jumpers.
Ratliff is going to toss it in. 6 seconds on the shot clock.
They reset it because it hit the rim.
Hit the rim, so it goes to 20. Inbounds pass to Carter. Back behind the arc. Shot no good. Serban has it, but it's going to be fouled.
So we'll get directly that guy right there. It's like they know what I'm thinking in the truck, because he was. I don't know if that was his matrix move. He just was blown away by the air on the three-pointer. The update from the men's game, by the way, Heidelberg led Ohio Northern 34-33 at the break. CJ Napier and Will Miller each had 10.
Over to the left side, Serban has it. Back out front, Akamine. Wants to move to the right side. Back out to Luersman. Inside it goes to Allen. Nice move.
She works right side, left side just as well. It does not matter.
Brooke Allen averaging 10.8 points, and she's got 6 right now, and the lead is at 22.
Heidelberg just seems discombobulated right now.
Akamine racing up court. Back out to Servin.
Oh, here you go. Oh, Casey, that's not what you want. I think did it look like to you that she used the defender to get her balance back?
That's what it looked like to me. Knippen is over in the wing, but Servin's going into the lane.
Oh, great ball fake.
But shot doesn't go. Bridget Enright into the lineup for Heidelberg.
She's a big soccer player, by the way. Out of Wood County, so she's not that far from home. Was a soccer team MVP.
Lob goes inside. Ohio Northern defense all over it. Allen will scoop it up. Here come the Polar Bears.
Speaking of soccer, rolled off Knippen's foot.
Servin. Back out Knippen. Rebound Akamine. And stepping out of bounds of Colleen Miller. Got immediate timeout. 4:01 to go here in the third quarter of play. Ohio Northern 43, Heidelberg 21. You're watching college basketball on NKTelco Sports.
Together, we are family, working safely for our loved ones.
We are problem solvers who challenge the status quo and drive improvement.
We care about our customer relationships.
We stay true to our values, caring and respecting one another.
We embrace change as we journey through our career.
We are Precision Strip, the world's leading processor of rolled steel and aluminum.
Precision Strip, doing the exceptional.
There you see part of the Ohio Northern University student body that's here. I think it's most of the fans here tonight for the students are all athletes that have returned to campus.
It's a lot of lacrosse team over there. All you got to do is stick a camera in front of them.
Track and field, all sorts.
So the rest of them do it without having to put the camera on them. These guys, they're too cool for school, so they got to have the camera over there. One guy's all right, though, because he's got the North Carolina shirt on. So
you noticed that very early in this one. Dials into the lineup. She'll have the basketball.
6 of 30 from the field now for Heidelberg. 16 of 39 for ONU.
Back out front it comes. Benjamin into the lineup.
You know, I love the story on Jada Benjamin, too, by the way. When she was in high school, 3 on the way and no good. When she was in high school in the greater Cleveland area, she worked her way up from the JV program to get to the varsity. And she talked about kind of what it meant for her then as she was named improved player. She had 962 points in high school, but it kind of gets lost when you look at how many 1,000-point scorers are on the floor for ONU.
Warnicki will have it top of the key inside the lane. She'll toss it over to Luersman. There's the move. Doesn't fall.
Let's try the underhanded scoop.
Enright grabbed that rebound as Miller will have it out front. Rogers directing traffic. Gets it to Carter in the wing. Carter handles it. Enright with a shot, no good. Rebound comes down to Luersman.
Luersman's got 5 rebounds. Servin's got 8.
Into the lane goes Dials. She'll draw the foul.
Just tried to take out that photographer. So I see your fancy camera, but you better be able to see this ball. Grace Dean back in. See it on the replay. This is the very end of the play as she draws this foul, bumps inside. And it's a good call right across the arm.
So Dial steps to the free throw line. She'll connect on the free throw.
Makes her 3 of 4. It's not a big score. 5.2 points per game, 5'7" sophomore.
As her average with 5 points. Second free throw also good.
How about the night for Bryn Servin, though, so far? 14 points, 3 of 6 from outside, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists.
Just a normal night, isn't it, Michael?
She continues to move up the all-time assist ladder. She came in number 6.
Out front, Irving to the corner. Baseline, they were going to lose it. Northern with the basketball. Dials, Soprano, Shot a little bit short. Rebound Beam, and foul on the backside by Peyton Warnicki.
It's another one that you immediately knew of. I almost got it.
Coming up on 2 minutes left here in our third quarter of play. Carter, 5'4" guard, to the right side, and Miller. Back out Carter. Goes to the right side, and Miller almost loses the ball, and the chase is on. Dials is going to tip it back in and off. Heidelberg right in front of the student section.
Which way do you think they thought that ball was going? 4th turnover of the half the other way. And Bryn Serbin, by the way, just continues to go up that assist ladder. She passed Jenna Dirksen recently. Or no, I'm sorry, she's set to pass Jenna Dirksen.
Inside, Dean, back out Dials. Dials into the lane. Back over to Warnicki. Soprano for 3, got it. Mackenzie Soprano.
She had 18 coming into today. She's got another one here.
Heidelberg trying to regroup a little bit as we go into the final minute of the third quarter.
I think they might be having problems hearing.
They might. Offensive foul is going to be on Morgan Altenberger.
Did you know you can't do that? You will now.
And returning into the lineup, Ashley Ballard.
Centerville Elk. It's not often you get one of those in the wild. It's a long way from home.
Dials will have it. Back out front to Dean. Dean guarded by Bean. Dials wants to work on the lane. There it is. Shot no good. Rebound. Soprano has her hands on it. Comes back out to Warnicki. Dean wants to move it inside. Tries to put it up and draws the foul.
But again, this is a perfect illustration of what I was saying earlier, that they do not care who gets the points, because when Dean ends up getting to the free throw line and being fouled, everybody sort of jumped for joy of, all right, we get another chance here.
Free throw rolls out. 6 out of 10 on the season for Grace Dean. And take a look at this one more time.
Grace Dean won an AAU national title when she was 17 in Orlando back in 2018.
Second also, free throw no good.
She's still my favorite story. We told this earlier in the year, but she actually has a book that you can buy on BarnesandNoble.com. It's called Revolutionary. Started as a 7th grader. Smart young lady.
There's the 3, shot a little bit short by Irving. We're into the final seconds of quarter number 3. Let's see what Dials does. Into the lane, tries to put it up, no good. Bean with the rebound. Foul is going to be on Dials.
Yeah, she tried to turn that in with Cheyenne Bean, but 5th foul of the quarter.
Heidelberg shooting only 6 out of 33 from the field, 18%. Behind the arc, only 2 out of 14. At the line, 7 out of 8. And Bean will try her hand at the free throw line.
I had actually forgotten her career high, by the way, this year as a freshman, 13 points against our friends from Alma.
Good old Alma.
But I had actually forgotten she played 5 sports at Lima Senior. She's part of the bowling, softball, track, volleyball, and basketball teams.
She didn't have a lot of free time, did she?
I don't think she did.
That's going to end our third quarter. Ohio Northern 48, Heidelberg 22. You're watching college basketball on NKTelco Sports.
Wagner's IGA has been servicing their communities for more than 95 years, spanning 3 generations. Wagner's founded their business on 2 basic principles: excellent customer service and quality products. Visit all our locations and experience the finest selection of deli, fresh meats, and variety of beverage choices. While there, don't forget to check out our vast selection of fresh coffee beans, produce, dairy, and bakery items. Visit Wagner's today in Minster, Fort Laramie, and New Bremen. And check us out on Facebook.
Heidelberg discussing strategy over the final 10 minutes of this one. They find themselves down by 26. There you see head coach Mark Hillsman for Ohio Northern University. Polar Bears with a big lead, 26 points, and Polar Bears shooting about 38% from the field, 5 out of 17 from behind the arc, 29%. Their usual steady numbers at the free throw line, 69%, 9 out of 16. Boy, you take a look at points in the paint, that's a dominating figure that we've seen throughout the year. Ohio Northern with a 22-8 advantage.
Also points off turnovers, 15-3. Numbers that jump out to me is 27-23 in terms of a time of the lead in just 27 seconds when it was a 5-2 ball game with Heidelberg on top.
Warnicki with it, back out to Dials for the three. Beautiful, nothing but nylon, and the lead now goes 51-22.
And of those threes you talked about, that's 6. They come from 5 different players.
That is a stat.
Just the leader of this group, and Brent Serban, with a pair of threes.
Ball comes back out to Ratliff. Carter will try and regroup out front for Heidelberg. Ratliff looking inside. Just not much there. Bean will get it. And let's see, there's going to be a foul.
Polar Bears ball. There's number 25, Grace Dean.
Grace Dean has picked up her 3rd foul.
It's not without lack of playing hard.
Nope. Left side and Ballard. Ballard looks inside, in trouble, gets it away. Ratliff to the corner. Carter will bring it back out.
Again, another possession with a shot under 8 seconds.
Gonna have to take this one.
Or no shot under 8 seconds.
That's right. Ratliff always seems to have the ball when the situation is like that, or it seems like that.
Kind of always put in kind of an awkward position where it's a little further out maybe than what she would like. She's just 3 of 22 coming into today from outside.
Soprano. Back out to Benjamin, Dials, Dean. Polar Bears moving that basketball. There's Dials, got it. Boy. Good movement, you get the shot, and there it is.
She said, you guys talking about threes? She said nobody's got it, right? And speaking of threes, Noe Ruane from St. Mary's about to check in. She had a 7-for-7 performance when she was a senior in high school to start the season from outside.
Inside pass, Ratliff, shot no good.
So Peyton Warnicki.
Nope. And a couple of subs.
Also, Kenzie Fillick played in her 7th game of the year.
Filling in Ruane into the lineup. Of course, Noelle Ruane from Memorial High School in St. Mary's. Filling from Belmore High School in Decatur. Or rather, yep, that's right, Belmore. Ratliff, free throw no good. Rebound comes down to Ruane.
Pretty good St. Mary's team that Noe comes from with head coach John Burke. One of my favorite people.
I coached him in CYO basketball.
That's why he wasn't a great player. He's a better coach.
I coached him in Pony League, but anyway. Grace Dean with it.
averages 3. She's got her first 2.
I don't tell that to everybody, Michael.
I don't think he tells that story either, so that might be something kind of between the two of you.
Yeah.
This is a good opportunity, though, for Northern. With a big lead, they're able to get some players a little deeper down the bench, kind of grow some continuity. And you talked about how they're ever expanding their bench. They're finding out who they can trust in games like this one.
They're bringing several players along as Ratliff will take one off the glass, and Beam will get the rebound shot, no good. Soprano with the rebound. Benjamin will bring it up court.
And you've got an almost 1,000-point scorer now on the floor leading the offense.
Dean back over to Benjamin. Ruane to her right. Benjamin back out to Ruane. Inside Dean. Back over to Ruane. She'll shoot the 3. There it is.
That's her first made 3 as a polar bear.
I think that's her first.
It's her first points
as a polar bear. So watching history being made as Ruane connects on the 3.
There's a lot of ballers on the floor right now. You even talk about Kenzie Filling. You talked about Belmont High School in Indiana. She was supposed to be part of a big showcase as a 3 offline for Heidelberg. And Indiana was part of the Hoosier Basketball Magazine Top 60. Unfortunately for her, a lot of her senior year, she was injured and could not go.
Benjamin, turnaround jumper, no good. Ratliff with the rebound.
So you can tell the student section of the bench mob want all these girls to score.
Rogers will throw it away. Bridget Enright into the lineup for Heidelberg. Dials back in, as is Warnicki.
She bring her pogo stick too, because you see her hop up and down.
Got a timeout on the floor. 30-second timeout. Heidelberg, they'll try and regroup. 5 minutes, 40 seconds to go. Ohio Northern 59, Heidelberg 22. I'd like to remind you that tonight's game brought to you by John and Tony's Restaurant, Four Seasons drive-thru, Jalapenos Mexican Grill, Whatever Cards and Games, and NKTelco bring you tonight's game. Our scoreboard sponsor, John and Tony's. Also, replays of tonight's contest can be viewed on NKTelco Channel 3 or in HD on Channel 503 Thursday, February the 2nd at 5 p.m. Friday, February the 3rd at 9 p.m. You can also watch more games on demand through YouTube, Facebook, and at nktelco.com/sports. Getting a look at the
They told them Dave Homesteaders in the building, and now everybody's they're just going nuts.
Might see some hand movement, probably the wrong kind though, but crowd really into it. It's great to see too.
This is what college athletics should be. Here, all of them here supporting their brethren, so to speak, and just this kind of atmosphere, especially with the number 14 ranked team in the country looking to go 15-1.
And Northern looking to wrap up win number 15, remain unbeaten in the OAC, and they're going to call a travel. Kenzie Filling almost had that one. Took the extra step, and that'll be a turnover.
It's rare that Northern has been given a turnover here in this second half. That is just their second of the second half.
Only had 8 turnovers or so?
Alicia Carter with her first points of the quarter. That's her team's first points of the quarter, too.
Coming up on 5 minutes to go. Warnicki. Benjamin with it. Back over to Ruane. Ruane goes down low. Ball goes to the left side. It's going to be a kick as Haley Rogers kicks the basketball. Dean and Soprano will come into the lineup.
She kicked it or it kicked her?
Yeah.
She did play every sport in high school, did Rogers, volleyball, basketball, softball, and track. But no soccer. She probably could have gotten a couple letters in that, too.
Dean gets it back over to Benjamin. Shots long. Rebound. Ballard. Up court come the student princes. Carter out front on Filling. Carter to the right side. Back out to Enright, and she'll connect. Bridget Enright. Averaging just under 2 points a game, and she'll get in the scorebook with her first basket of tonight's contest.
Out of Millbury Lake High School, right there off 75.
Out front it goes. Ruane will handle it. Filling with the basketball. Tries to move inside. Benjamin will have it. She'll shoot the three. High arc. No good. Ruane with the rebound. Back out front to Dean. Benjamin looks inside. Goes off the screen by Dean. Puts it up and in.
Basket by Jada Benjamin.
61-26 our score.
10 different Polar Bears have scored in this game. And this could be a big night for Ohio Northern too, by the way, because up in Tiffin, the 12-3 Student Prince find themselves trailing the 7 and 8 Polar Bears 61-58 with just about 3 minutes to go.
Be a big win for the men's program, that's for sure.
Why? Because they're 10 of 21 from 3.
That'll do it.
That is finding a way to get it done.
Filling out front, goes to the left side.
Ash got caught with Soprano. Sort of came up to the elbow behind her. Soprano off balance.
Left-handed shot by Soprano.
Look what I can do. It's going to be a party long into the night here in Ada.
63-26, big lead for the Polar Bears.
A lot of happy people at John and Tony's in a little bit.
That's right. Rogers into the lane, up and in, and Benjamin will draw the foul.
Basket by Hallie Rogers. Polar Bears foul. It's number 4, Jada Benjamin.
It's one way for her to get it done. She has the season high for her team this year. She has a 20-point output. Was a 1,000-point scorer in high school. Set the school's assist record. And also, as weird as this is, she also set the volleyball assist record. So she's a big help to her friends.
63-28, 3:06 to go in this one. Take a look at Heidelberg, too, and you look at their roster, and what, 19 freshmen and sophomore, and only 2 seniors on the squad, and they lose Bailey, was it Bailey Walter, excellent player, right in the early part of the season. Grace Dean will pick up the basket for Ohio Northern.
And you've got Alyssa Martin, who led the OAC in blocks last year. One of those seniors you're talking about, and then Bailey Walter, who's a grad student.
Rebound. Turn around. Shot no good as Altenberger tried to get it in. Filling up court. There's a breakaway to Soprano. She'll get it back out to Ruane. Quickly to Dean. Into the lane. Back over to Filling for 3. Soprano hustling after the rebound. It's going to go out of bounds.
All right. I know I've said this a handful of times, but there really is nothing like Amari Slaughter in for the first time out of Worcester in Orville High School. You know who went to Orville High School?
Bobby Knight.
Bobby Knight. I knew you'd know that. I wrote that down, and I wrote, Dave will know this.
Dave will know this.
But there really is not anything like this new configuration they have here at this gym when it's full of active, engaged students in a game like this.
And it really couldn't change the outcome of the game, or it just inspires the team.
It's got to be worth at least 5 points.
Oh, yeah. That's a home court advantage, and that's for sure.
Look at the smile on Jada Benjamin's face. She threw up one finger and told everybody, you kind of, hold on a second. Let me get down there and enjoy this for a second.
Grace Dean with it, backside Filling. There it is.
She did not even have that basketball when she made that work to Kenzie Filling.
67-28.
11 players have scored now for the Polar Bears. Men now lead. It's still 61-58 with a minute and a half to go.
Boy, you look at that. Only 12 points in the second half by Heidelberg. 6 in each quarter so far. Ruane inside to Dean. Looking for an open teammate. Back out to Benjamin. Into the lane. Off balance. tipped there by Wright in the shot clock.
I give it to Jada Benjamin, though. She did everything you can. After that shot was kind of blocked all the way up, she had less than 5 seconds on the shot clock. She tried to make it work.
You have to be impressed with the unselfishness of Ohio Northern, and it doesn't matter who's on the court. And that's a tremendous tribute to the coaching staff at Ohio Northern.
Well, you tell Mark that here in a couple minutes, and you see what he says.
Yeah, we'll see. That's how you're supposed to play the game.
Mari Slaughter with her second triple of the year, and it makes it a 67-31 game.
Dean with it out front.
Here comes Filling again. Kick back to Soprano on the run at 24. It's not going to get away from me.
Here comes Enright, or Ruane will make the steal.
Mark threw his hands up and he said, we don't need anything else. 67-31 for the 14th ranked team in the land. So they're going to improve to 15-1. They'll stay unbeaten in the league with their 12th straight win. We'll talk to Mark Kuhlsman coming up here in just a second. But an absolutely dominating performance for Ohio Northern. They put up 19 points in the fourth quarter and just 15 points, like Dave said, here in the second half. ONU with the win. A lot of big games coming up for the Polar Bears, including the home game here on the 28th. Going to be a trip to Marietta on a Saturday for ONU, and a trip to Heidelberg to Mount Union on Saturday before they get Baldwin-Wallace next Wednesday night. At Wilmington next Wednesday for ONU, and then back home against Mount Union on the 28th in a game we have as well, as Dave is with Coach Kuhlsman.
Here at Ohio Northern, Polar Bears come up with a big win over Heidelberg. At halftime, you were concerned about transition defense. Second half, it seemed like everyone was pretty much into it. You held Heidelberg to, what, 13, 15 points?
Yeah, we sprinted back a lot better. We were a little more clear on our responsibilities. That was one thing we had to talk about at halftime. We had some confusion on what our responsibilities were in transition, so we got that sorted out, and we got back and got our defense set, and it was a little bit better for us.
When you take a look at offensively, it seemed like you had a good game, very smooth, and there was a lot of different players involved, especially in the second half.
Yeah, we've got a good team, and it's good for everybody to be able to contribute, be able to pass. We've got good players, and in good programs, sometimes you don't get to play as much as you probably should. And our players have done a really good job of working hard in practice and approaching things the right way. And I was glad they were able to get out here and be productive today.
Kind of as a side note, the crowd here tonight, that seemed to raise everybody's enthusiasm.
Awesome, Dave. It was awesome. Our men's lacrosse team was here. Our men's and women's track programs are back on campus now training, and they were at the game tonight, and it was a great atmosphere. I really appreciate the athletes and the coaches for coming out to support us. It was awesome.
All right, thank you very much, Coach. Ohio Northern continues to be unbeaten in Ohio Athletic Conference play. You're watching college basketball on NKTelco Sports.
Unpack your potential with a career at Pratt Industries. Working at Pratt Industries is more than a job. It's a sustainable career.
Pratt Industries to me is a job. It's my career. It's the way I put food on my table, but I love what I do.
We offer competitive pay, excellent benefits, and opportunities for career advancement. To apply, visit careers.prattindustries.com.
Ohio Northern comes up with their 15th win of the season in 16 outings, and more importantly, up that OAC record to 9-0. And Michael, boy, when you look at that line score, across the quarters, 15 points, 16 points in the first half, 15 in the second half. There's some really tremendous defense by Ohio Northern when you look at it. 31 points, that's a pretty good defensive performance, and obviously Mark Hillsman liked what he saw in the second half.
Yeah, he sounded thrilled after you talked to him there. I mean, for him, that pretty much was thrilled, I think. But he's got, obviously, a terrific team at now 15-1. They're 6-1 here at home, 9-0 in the OAC. 11 players score on those 25 field goals you see. They got it done from the line. They got it done from behind the arc. They had 5 different players make those three-pointers, as you see on a handful of these. I still like, as you see Luersman drop one down, I like the Noe Ruane 3. That's cool to be able to see your teammates here and they all get happy for you. But 3 players in double figures, led by Bryn Serban with 14, Layla Dials with 12. And that's double what she averages and then some. Other side, you're able to hold Rogers to 12, and you kind of made it to the point where you talked about by quarters. You go on that run in the third. If you're Northern, her 5 points in the second half really didn't matter. I mean, she had 7 in the first half, but by looking at it, there's not really anything. Amari Slaughter hits that 3 late. By that point, it doesn't matter. A complete, in all senses of the word, team win for ONU.
Yeah, big win for the Polar Bears, and you know, it just builds up even more momentum as they move along in the OAC, and looking for win number 10 coming up on Saturday, and what would probably be more of a challenging environment.
11 of the 12 players that played tonight scored for Northern.
That's an incredible statistic, isn't it?
But before the game, had you told Mark that Brooke Allen, who averages 11 a game, will have 6, how do you feel about how your game is going to go? And I'm sure what he would have said, but just another seminal performance by Bryn Serban. You get everybody with big games, and you're going to, like you said, you're going to continue to need that as you go along the road, because you know that when you go to Berea in a couple of weeks, Baldwin Wallace is waiting to pick you off. You get a trip to Marietta, which that's not easy by itself, just the travel before you go to Wilmington. Oh, yeah, and then you have to come back and play Mount Union.
That's a strong schedule as they march towards an OAC title. And of course, with the national rankings comes additional attention. But, the Polar Bears look like they're starting to hit all cylinders at the right time.
Well, you talked about earlier on about their winning streak and about it was the 7-11 game, the now 8 straight losses for Heidelberg and 12 straight wins for Northern. But it's their longest winning streak since the 16-17 team. I see a lot of the 16-17 team in this team in that they're so well versed in anything that you need them to do. They can hit you from a multitude of different ways. They've got stop-and-go scorers with Bryn Serban, and then you get Layla Dials at her to what Abby Akamide can do, and you get girls in the post. I mean, you get Peyton Warnicki as a great facilitator. She had a couple of really nice assists in the first half. Luersman and Brooke Allen in the post. I mean, you are really going to have to play a complete, no mistakes game, especially to come in here in this environment tonight and beat Ohio Northern.
Yeah, as you watch the replays, you see number 12, Layla Dials hitting some threes, and another one there you see Noelle Ruane and getting her first 3 points of her career here at Ohio Northern. So a lot of good things here tonight here at Ohio Northern for the Polar Bears. They'll be at Marietta on Saturday. They are now 15-1, 9-0 in league play. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors for tonight's game. John and Tony's Restaurant, Four Seasons Drive-Thru, Jalapenos Mexican Grill, Whatever Cards and Games, and NKTelco. Additional sponsors, Whatever Cards and Games, Four Seasons Drive-Thru, and Jalapenos Mexican Grill with locations in Ada and Shawnee, and Northwest Ohio Liquidations. I'd like to remind you that tonight's game will be replayed on NKTelco Channel 3 and HD on Channel 503 Thursday, February the 2nd at 5 p.m. Thursday and Friday, February the 3rd at 9 p.m. You can also watch more games on demand through YouTube, Facebook, and at nktelco.com/sports. I'd like to thank our crew here tonight. On the cameras, Paul Downing, Mark Fissel, and Kurt Guffiner, our assistant director, Jeff Henshin, and our director tonight, Scott Robinson. I'm Dave Helmstetter. With me, Michael Hearn. Final score, Ohio Northern 67, Heidelberg 31. You have been watching college basketball on NKTelco Sports.